Baltimore is the most populous city in the state of Maryland. It is located in north-central Maryland on the Patapsco River close to where it empties into the Chesapeake Bay. As of 2021, the population in Baltimore is estimated to be 583,923, covers 92 square miles, making it the 30th most populous city in the United States. Baltimore was established by the Constitution of Maryland as an independent city in 1729. By the outbreak of the American Revolution, it was a bustling seaport and shipbuilding center. Now, Baltimore is a major seaport with ship repair facilities and a highly diversified economy. One of the oldest neighborhoods in Baltimore, Fells Point, was once a bustling shipbuilding port. Established in 1763, Fells Point is a city, state and national historic district and boasts more than 300 buildings on the National Register. Walk the Belgian block streets, the original stone bricks brought over by trade ships from Europe, to Broadway Market, a year-round indoor market built in 1786 that houses a number of international delicacies and local treats. The Inner Harbor is a historic seaport, tourist attraction, and landmark of the city of Baltimore. It was described by the Urban Land Institute in 2009 as the model for post-industrial waterfront redevelopment around the world. With the success of the Inner Harbor in the 1970s and 1980s, Baltimore became a worldwide tourist destination and model of urban planning and development. It influenced more than 100 other cities and won more than 40 national or international awards, including a citation by the American Institute of Architects in 1984. The National Aquarium, also known as National Aquarium in Baltimore, is a non-profit public aquarium located on Pier 3 in the Inner Harbor area of Baltimore. Constructed during a period of urban renewal in Baltimore, the aquarium opened on August 8, 1981. The aquarium has an annual attendance of 1.5 million visitors and is the largest tourism attraction in the state of Maryland. The aquarium holds more than 2,200,000 gallons of water, and has more than 17,000 specimens representing over 750 species. The National Aquarium houses several exhibits including the upland tropical rainforest, a multiple-story Atlantic coral reef, an open ocean shark tank, and Australia, wild extremes. The National Aquarium's mission is to inspire conservation of the world's aquatic treasures. The historic ships in Baltimore Museum have become an iconic part of Baltimore's Inner Harbor. The USS Constellation is a part of the historic ships in Baltimore, which also includes the WEC 37, USS Torsk, Chesapeake, and the 7-foot No Light. All are listed on the National Register of Historic Places, and the 3 ships are also National Historic Landmarks. The Constellation was the U.S. Navy's first ship. It was launched in Baltimore in 1797, and was the last all-sail warship built for the Navy. It has been moored in the city's harbor since 1955. In the late 1990s the ship underwent extensive restoration. The USS Torsk is a Tench-class submarine built for the U.S. Navy during World War II. Armed with 10 torpedo tubes, the Tench-class submarines were incremental developments of the highly successful Gatto-class submarines that formed the backbone of the U.S. Navy's submarine force during the war. Or WEC 37 is a United States Coast Guard high-endurance cutter notable as the last warship floating that fought in the attack on Pearl Harbor. It was named for Roger B. Taney, who served as U.S. Attorney General, Secretary of the Treasury, and Chief Justice of the United States. She is also one of 2 Treasury-class, out of 7 total, Coast Guard cutters still afloat. The 7-foot No Light was built in 1855 and is the oldest screw-file lighthouse in Maryland. On August 22, 1989 the lighthouse was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The lighthouse is also a contributing element in the Baltimore National Heritage Area and part of the Historic American Engineering Record. Camden Yards is a Major League Baseball ballpark located in Baltimore, and home to the Baltimore Orioles. Camden Yards is the first of the retro Major League ballparks constructed during the 1990s and early 2000s. The park is situated in downtown Baltimore, a few blocks west of the Inner Harbor. The stadium planners incorporated the B&O warehouse into the architecture of the ballpark experience rather than demolish or truncate it. On the street there's a statue of Babe Ruth entitled, Babe's Dream, created in 1996 by sculptor Susan Leward. In the same courtyard, one will find sculptures indicating the retired jersey numbers of the Baltimore Orioles. Adjacent from Camden Yards is M&T Bank Stadium, the home of the Baltimore Ravens, often referred to as Ravens Stadium. The M&T Bank Stadium officially opened in 1998, and is currently one of the most praised stadiums in the NFL for fan amenities, ease of access, concessions and other facilities. Fort McHenry is a historical American coastal pentagonal bastion fort located in the Locust Point neighborhood of Baltimore. It is best known for its role in the War of 1812, when it successfully defended Baltimore Harbor from an attack by the British Navy from the Chesapeake Bay on September 13–14, 1814. During the War of 1812, the British tried to capture Baltimore, and they would have done so had it not been for the U.S. forces' successful defense of the nearby Fort McHenry, which inspired Francis Scott Key's poem The Star-Spangled Banner, which eventually became the U.S. national anthem. The failed bombardment of Fort McHenry forced the British to abandon their land assault on the crucial port city of Baltimore. This British defeat was a turning point in the War of 1812. It was first built in 1798 and was used continuously by the U.S. Armed Forces through World War I and by the Coast Guard in World War II, and was designated a national park in 1925, and in 1939 was redesignated a national monument and historic shrine. Federal Hill Park is a 10.3-acre park located on the south shore of the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. It was used as a lookout during the Civil War and the War of 1812. Federal Hill Park is a signature Baltimore landmark and offers visitors some of the most noted views in the city, often photographed looking north to the downtown skyline of skyscrapers across the Inner Harbor. The Walters Art Museum, located in Mount Vernon, Belvedere, Baltimore, is a public art museum founded and opened in 1934. It holds collections established during the mid-19th century. The museum's collection was amassed substantially by major American art and sculpture collectors, a father and son, William Thompson Walters, who began serious collecting when he moved to Paris as a nominal Southern Confederate sympathizer at the outbreak of the American Civil War in 1861, and Henry Walters, who refined the collection and made arrangements for the construction of the later landmark building to rehouse it. Dive into history at the Walters Art Museum, which includes collections spanning more than 7 millennia, from 5000 BCE to the 21st century. Starting on October 1, 2006, the museum was enabled to make admission free to all, year-round, as a result of substantial grants given by Baltimore City and the surrounding suburban Baltimore County arts agencies and authorities. Not too far from the Walters Art Museum is the Washington Monument in Baltimore. The Washington Monument is the centerpiece of intersecting Mount Vernon Place and Washington Place, an urban square in the Mount Vernon Belvedere neighborhood north of downtown Baltimore. It was the first major monument begun to honor George Washington, 1732 to 1799. Within walking distance from the Walters Art Museum, is the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Better known as the Baltimore Basilica, was the nation's first Roman Catholic cathedral. Baltimore Basilica was constructed between 1806 and 1863. It was listed on the National Register of Historic Places on October 1, 1969, and was made a National Historic Landmark on November 1971. Baltimore is a city with a lot of historical landmarks. So if you are interested in visiting a city for a few days, Baltimore could be an option for you to visit on your next trip.